Thinking of selling your house, but you're not sure where to start as far as getting your house ready for people to come in and look at your space? Well, in this video, we're talking everything you need to know about getting your house ready for sale. So stay tuned. What is up, everybody? This is Austin Weiss. I'm your go-to real estate resource here in the Chicagoland area. Whether you're a returning viewer or brand new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap that bell so you don't miss out any of my future videos all about what it's like to work, eat, live, and play right here in the Chicagoland area. If you're ever thinking about selling your house or making a move, I'm available by phone, text, email, days, nights, weekends, and I would just love to have the opportunity to help you simplify that whole experience just for you. One of the most frequently asked questions I receive from homeowners is, what do I need to do in order to have my house ready to be put on the market for sale? Well, in this video, I'm going to be covering the simple hacks that you can do now so that your house will be ready in 6 months, a year, or years down the line, and that you'll be able to get the most amount of money out of your house and sell it in an appropriate amount of time for you. First and foremost on my list is to declutter your house. You would not believe how much stuff you've accumulated over the years and have put in your house to make it feel cozy and homey, but especially if you've lived in your house for 10, 20, 30 years, you would not realize how much stuff you have in your house until you begin the whole moving process. So here's what I would recommend you do. You go through all your stuff, figure out what you want to keep, donate, and sell. Selling stuff could help you pay down some closing costs when you do make that move, and donating, you can use it as a tax write-off, which is a fantastic idea because if you're like me, you always want to eliminate how much tax you're giving to the government. In addition to that, you have to remember that you're selling your space, not your stuff. And all else being equal, if you were to have two homes that were for sale and you were to walk through both, which one would you most likely want to buy? The one that looks clean, bright, and airy, or the one that's filled with stuff that has things all over the cabinets, the countertops, a bunch of needless furniture that's clogging up the hallways or the space? You know, you answer that question. Which one would you prefer to buy? Next on my list is deferred maintenance. So now that you've moved some of the furniture out and decluttered a little bit, you're gonna notice some deferred maintenance around the house that maybe you didn't notice yourself or you've been putting off and just didn't really care about because it didn't bother you at all. But you do want to address those now because when a buyer walks through your property, it will change their perception fairly quickly when they start adding up the costs in their head, and they're always going to overestimate costs for a simple fix. So it could be a $100 fix to you, but to the buyer it could be $200, $300 in their head, and they're just going to start adding up the 5, 10, 15 things that need to be addressed. Some of the things that I see most commonly are patchy paint, holes in the drywall, the caulk around the shower that's discolored. That's a super simple fix that you could do. Definitely make sure that all the electrical outlets and light switches have the exact same matching panels. A simple tip would just be to make a list of all the deferred maintenance items that you've noticed and figure out what you do want to address, what you don't, and price them out based on your budget. Number 3 is brighten up your house. Paint color, natural light from the windows, and those light fixtures. I mean, if you have that gold-plated light fixture from the 1990s, definitely swap it out for something more sleek and modern. Look, with a buyer, it's all about feel and emotion, and you need to use that to your advantage as the seller. Make it feel more welcoming and just inviting overall. If your house looks like a bowl of fruity pebbles, swap it out for neutral paint colors. Definitely swap out those dark and heavy curtains with something that's going to allow more natural light to come in. And if your carpet is stained or just old and depleted, considering getting it washed or swapping out with something that's cost effective, that can go a long way with playing to the emotional side when a buyer is walking through your house. Hey, if you like this video so far, make sure to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment down below of any questions you have about the home selling process. Next thing that I would suggest doing is kind of sitting down with a tablet and going over everything that you've replaced within the last 5 years in your house. You know, what's been updated and what's kind of depleted and maybe would need to be fixed or replaced. Kind of go through the kitchen, the bathrooms, the flooring, the windows, anything else that you think would be a selling point of your house. And that will give you an idea of maybe what you could do for the deferred maintenance items and what you maybe will hear back from the buyer as far as feedback so that you know and aren't surprised. Definitely when we schedule an appointment, I will go and walk through your house and tell you things that I would suggest doing. I'm not talking about investing $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in your house, but it's just good knowledge to have so that you're not surprised why people aren't giving you an offer and why the price point of your house is where it is. All right, now that we've covered a lot of the interior of the house, let's talk about the curb appeal, the first impression, the thing that the professional photographer will have on the internet, the very first thing that people see when they get out of their car when visiting your house. This is gonna be a big deal. So definitely stand outside in front of your house and walk around the exterior, noticing any tree branches that have fallen, debris, dead plants, flowers. Mulch your yard so that it gives it a little extra color pop and makes it look like you actually take care of your property. Also, what you could do is go check out the siding, the gutters, the windows, and the doors, and make sure that there's no holes in any of them. Deferred maintenance items that we talked about earlier. You can even add an extra color to the front door just to give it an extra pop and make it stand out. In addition to that, if you have any outdoor seating areas in the front or the back, put some tables and chairs out there with some colorful pillows. It helps people imagine themselves sitting out there and enjoying that space. All right, number 6 on my list is to depersonalize your home. Definitely, this could be the hardest thing to do for a lot of people, but again, you want to create that illusion for a potential buyer to help them envision themselves living there with their family, not yours. So take down all those family photos, personal accomplishments, degrees, anything that possibly could be used against you when negotiating, or create a bias by a buyer. And you never know who's walking around with their cell phones or tablets these days, and you just don't want to have someone taking pictures of your stuff and kind of doing whatever they do with that type of thing. Last but certainly not least is interview agents early in the home selling process. Even if you're years out, you can always utilize your agent as a resource for contractors, decluttering, or anything else that you need for your house. I'm even known to come over to a seller's house and help them move some furniture around, so if that's something that you need, I'm your guy. When you're interviewing agents, though, you definitely want to make sure that they're up to date on the most active marketing strategies. So I'm talking about not going around your house with their cell phone, but hiring a professional photographer to take quality photos of your house, because that's going to be the images that people determine whether or not they want to come physically look at your house or not. And you would be shocked at how many agents still take photos on their cell phone, and I find on the MLS day after day after day. In addition to that, are they utilizing the most up-to-date social media strategies, marketing strategies, and engaging the community, not only in person, but with video, email marketing, things such as that. So if they're not doing a lot of those things, then you probably should be looking for a different strategy, in my opinion. Another thing that a lot of people don't realize is there's something called a list to sell price ratio. And the short and long of it is, if there's a $100,000 property and an agent sells it for $95,000, that's a 95% list to sale price ratio. The average in our market here in the Chicagoland area tends to be around 97%. Mine is significantly higher. So you have to ask yourself this question: out of every $100,000 your property is worth, do you want to get thousands of dollars more, or do you want to sell it at a discount? So that's really the most important thing. Some things that really do not matter, and I hear people asking agents all the time, or me when I first got in the business, is, how many properties have you sold in this area or in my neighborhood in the last year or two? Well, honestly, it does not matter, because I know plenty of agents that are selling dozens of homes every year, and they're selling them at discounts because their list to sale price ratio isn't as high, and they're really just good at marketing themselves and getting their name out there, not exposing the house and selling it for the most amount of money. If that's something that you want to have a more in-depth conversation with me about, you're always welcome to give me a phone, shoot me a text, or send me an email. I'm available days, nights, weekends, and I would just love to have a phone conversation with you and help you understand how to simplify your moving experience. But until next time, I'll catch you guys later. I'm even available to move a piece of furniture too, with my muscles.